Okay. The stats of importance here is that he opens to 24%, and his aggression by street is 3.9, which is quite high on the flop, 5.0, which is very high on the turn, and 3.0, which is pretty high, but it means that he's not continuing. He's not going to be triple barreling us consistently on the river. The notes that I have on him is that he folds to a lot of 3-bets, and he'd rather bet fold than check fold. When in doubt, he bets, that's actually a really good read to have on players. I think that you can make a lot of river raises with bluffs or turn second pair or even top pair into bluffs on the river if you have that read. And quite honestly, that's a really good strategy to have. I think most players would be better off adopting that idea that bet folding is way better than check folding, or bet folding is way better than check calling, which is definitely a true statement. But at the same time, it still allows a really thinking opponent to cash in on it. My mindset at this time was I'm still thinking about the call with 3-3, which was a long time ago, and really just really terrible thing to do because I'm thinking about a 45 big blind call. But at the same time, I couldn't get over the fact that I knew that it was a fold, and I still couldn't do it. I couldn't get absolutely anything going on at this table in particular, and in general, I'm just really frustrated. The history I have with this player is that he just got sucked out by a fish for 30 big blind pot, so he could be tilting. He's only on one of my other tables and has not made an impact. I have 400 hands on him, but no notes. He's also seen me fold the turn river several times after either calling flop or c-betting, so therefore my image is really going to be quite poor if he's been paying close enough attention. So let's take a look at the hand this time. The undergun raises to 3.5, and I make a rather completely standard call on the cutoff with ace-queen offsuit. And there's 3 folds, so we get to heads up. Really standard on the flop. I could potentially raise here, but I'm really not representing all that much, and I think far too often I'm going to be value owned here as opposed to him calling me down light with queen jack or king queen. So I have to just call and take advantage of his bluffs. Standard on the turn as well. Really not very expect to see much else here. I really don't plan on ever doing anything else until we get to the river. Again, I'm faced with a really large overbet, and I'm just thinking to myself, wow. Another big overbet in a situation where I have a strong absolute value hand. It's amazing. It just happens so rarely, right? So those are my first thoughts. But when I broke it down, this became a rather simple hand, right? First of all, I just don't think there's a ton of bluffs in his range. I suppose he could have a hand such as a club draw that missed on the turn, such as ace-jack of clubs, ace-king of clubs. Possibility, right? But this is also the type of boards that most regs can slow play. So therefore, even a really poor reg that, if this board was 7-6 of hearts, or let's say the queen of diamonds was a heart, so it was queen 7-6 with two hearts and a heart draw out there. I think most regs in that situation would just instantly raise and try to get the money in. But even against a poor, because the board's so wet, but even some of the worst regulars could very easily just call a set, hoping for him to triple barrel off. So I do have a lot of really strong hands in my range here. I'm not just including hands like 8-9 or king queen, ace queen in part of my range. I can have hands that are pretty nutted here. Finally, he also has an above average aggression factor, but there's a big difference between being able to overbet bluff here and just being an aggressive player. I think a lot of players make the mistake of, wow, this guy's an aggressive player, therefore he's got to be bluffing all the time, so we always got to be calling off in these situations. Well, quite honestly, if you look at this board texture, 8-9 for the absolute nuts is in my range, as is pocket 7s and pocket 6s, or a hand such as ace-queen, or 7-6 suited is also in my range, because the board is so dry on the flop. So I think when you equate all these hands, he just really has a hand that can beat a really good queen X, or even can beat a set potentially, and is trying to get me to call down here. So I think, based on my mindset, I was like, I can't believe this happened to me again, quite honestly. I was be happy to call a $30 bet or something on the river. But as played, I just think that he's going for pure value here. And considering I don't have any other notes on him, we've played a lot, and he's pretty straightforward. I'm happy with the fold.